Hi, welcome back to Jim's Addiction. I'm so glad you came to see me today as I run down through the list, a little bit of a show and tell of everything that I picked up at a recent record show that I went to. So exciting to get to go. It was a ton of fun. Everybody had amazing things, lots of great, clean, wonderful copies, no matter what era, no matter what genre. I was just super impressed with the selection this time that was out there. I will say there was not a lot of electronic or modern music. I do like Moby. I do like Royksop, Robin. There's some other bands and groups and singers that I enjoy, and I would like to have more vinyl of in my collection, but it's really been difficult to find. Kind of out in the wild, even in my local record store. So I was saving up some money and time to look this past record show for those things, and there just wasn't any. So that was kind of a little bit of a disappointment, but that's not unusual to just that show. It's been like that for me here for quite a while. So I hate to think it's the norm, but it's kind of feeling like the new norm for me in that genre of music. But nevertheless, I'm sure I will find more, and there is always shopping in other ways, online, eBay, whatever. So I will continue to keep looking though, until I can't take it anymore. And then I start shopping online. There was some vendors with some really unique things. I did not spend a lot of time looking at wall LPs, like bigger ticket items. Not because I wouldn't, but I just really was drawn to those boxes and just kind of going. And I just hit everybody. I was there a little over 3.5 hours, and there was a huge thunderstorm coming, and I had to drive a significant distance to get back home. So I was by myself, and I thought, you know what, I better go. So probably the rain saved my wallet a little bit, because one thing that I wanted to keep digging through was a box of 45s, of promo 45s. I don't buy a ton of 45s. I like to get them with a cool cover. This was Wham's Bad Boys, front and back. Whoops, I don't even know what that is. But I don't know, there's something about a promo record that intrigues me. This was also a promo record, even though it came with the picture sleeve and then it had the white. It says like 100th anniversary jukebox edition. I think most of the regular 45s for this Love and Rockets, the labels were red. Another record I picked up for 45, Alphaville. I never get to see Alphaville. So when I do get to find an Alphaville record, it's just kind of fun to add it to my collection. Big in Japan is my favorite album by them. I think it is just, very 80s perfection. I, of course, as you know, probably if you don't know already, I'm a big fan of the Cramps. They do a song called Psychotic Reaction, which is a redo of the Count 5. I really am looking for a 45 with the picture on the front where they're in their capes and stuff, but I'm just super happy to have a copy of that to include as sort of a crossover with my Cramps collection. Another record I stream a lot is Roxy Music Live, and I just happened to see this in a CD bin. I don't really look for a lot of CDs. If it's an album that's only available on CD, like Blondie's No Exit, for example, I will seek those things out, but I was just really excited to get this one. It's a really good album. If you've not listened to it and you're a Roxy Music fan, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's just really cool to hear them live. So I mentioned my Spotify playlist. There's some artists that are not on my playlist because they're just not on Spotify, and I kind of had them grouped together. And this album by The Fix is one that was really difficult for me to come across. This is a Canadian pressing, so I was just really happy to get it. Most of these records, I have to say, were $5 to $10, maybe a few 20s here and there. Neil Young and the Shocking Pinks, Everybody's Rockin', kind of more like rockabilly. I think this might have been part of what I always think of as his contractual obligation records. He has the other one called Trans, which we also own. So I sort of felt like that rounded out that collection for us. Big fans here in this house with Prince, and usually any offshoot or genre of music that is related to Prince, and Vanity was no exception. So I think her main song off of this album was Pretty Mess. and it's Wild Animal. Maybe some of you have it with a different cover. I think I heard maybe this was not always the same cover everywhere. And this is when she was with, I don't even know which record label. She wasn't with Prince's label anymore, though. But that was another one I was just kind of happy to find. I think all of those were $3 to $5 a piece. I really love funk and soul music, so I spent a lot of time kind of going through there because I always feel like I really fixate on punk, new wave, industrial music, and kind of forget some of the other things that I enjoy listening to. And funk and soul would be one of them. So I did finally find a copy of Sly and the Family Stones. There's a Riot Going On. This has Family Affair on it. I thought this was a super, super nice copy. I mean, the spine is just in really great shape. So it plays really, really well. It was such a pleasure to listen to. Another one I could never find in good condition was Small Talk, and this was $3. I thought, of course, I'm going to buy it for $3. Like, yes. I mean, doesn't that look great? I mean, no huge, I mean, there's a little bit of ring wear on there, but that's considering it could look a heck of a lot worse. I thought that was in super, super good condition. We are big James Bond fans in this house. And so finding James Bond soundtracks is always something we enjoy. Both of these soundtracks I pick up for James Bond movies, I currently already own. Diamonds Are Forever, Shirley Bassey, one of my all-time favorites. Anything with John Barry, and the artwork is by Robert McGuinness, one of my absolute favorite artists. He does such inspiring and beautiful work. But it was a little bit of a cleaner copy than one that I had, so I thought that was a win. And then my version of Thunderball, I don't think was as nice as this one. This was only $3. I mean, who does not want to listen to Tom Jones sing Thunderball? I mean, fantastic, right? So that's just a win. I mean, I just don't think you can have too many James Bond records. I just don't. Another movie soundtrack that I was not looking for, but super happy to come across was Shaft. I absolutely love the song Shaft and Isaac Hayes. I thought that the record itself, I mean, it might be a little worn, but everything is intact. It's not ripped anywhere. The records are in great condition, and it was $5. I mean, who would not? I mean, that was like one of those moments you're like, no brainer, right? Another one that I've been really looking for a great copy of would be this little one from Rick James, Street Songs. Finding one in good condition has been difficult. This has Give It To Me Baby and Super Freak on it. So I just feel like it is the absolute, like if you want a Rick James, hello, that's it's one of the first I would always want to have, but I just could never find one that looked good. They were always ripped up or water damaged or something. Same goes for these Peter Gabriel records. They are in fantastic condition. The last ones I saw like these, I think were on walls at record stores for anywhere from $45 to $60. And I feel like for under and around $20, these were absolutely perfect pickups. They sound great. And they just look fantastic. So I was so thrilled. I think probably whoever, there were others too from Peter Gabriel. I'm sure it was somebody's collection and they took really good care of their music, which was just a thrill because I don't know. The next one I found was on my list to pick up, Parliament and the Funkadelic. I mean, who does not want, I guess it's just Parliament. It's not Funkadelic yet, right? But the clones of Dr. Frankenstein, I mean, so good. I don't know. Yeah, I think that was obviously produced by George Clinton, but I don't think they were the crossover yet. So sorry, just Parliament, not Parliament and Funkadelic. But I always put them together. Does anybody else do that? I tend to want to do that. Another artist we love around here is Warren Zevon, and finding a nice, clean copy of Stand in Fire was not easy to do. So we picked that one up. This is an 85 reissue of the Stooges. I've been looking for an original that is not banged up. So this is kind of a stopgap measure for me to be able to have the Stooges record in good condition until I can find the one that I'm really looking for. I know it's out there. It's got my name on it somewhere, right? This particular Patti Smith record, I have not had good luck finding the album until now, and I'm super thrilled. Dream of Life is a favorite. I have it on cassette. I do not and did not have the LP till now, and it was not easy to find. It was not something I saw everywhere. The Vapors, this album has Turning Japanese on it. I think it is an absolute win and a great addition to any 80s collection. Most copies of this record were never in good condition, so I was super excited for that. Finding anything by Echo and the Bunnymen is really sort of hard in these parts, so to find this promo copy of Crocodiles was so good. It is so pretty. I just could not be more pleased with that. I did not have a copy of All Mod Cons from the Jam. This is a Japanese print. It just didn't have the Obi strip on it. So it was pretty inexpensive. I think it was around $10 or so. It plays great. And I think it'll be a nice album to have in the interim till I maybe find a UK pressing or something that I'm kind of looking for. Big fan of Elvis Costello. I have just about everything you could ever want, but the one thing I did not have was Armed Forces, and this was a really nice, clean copy. I could not be more happy with the way that one looks, let alone finding one. This is an album I never see anywhere. Used at record shows, record stores. I've just never had any luck finding it. I think I've maybe seen it once, and it was just totally wrecked. You wouldn't have wanted to buy it. Out of Our Idiot was another one that I found. It is imported, wasn't, I think, readily available here in the States. So I was super excited. They had a couple copies of this, but I think I only paid maybe $10 for this one and just thrilled. Smiths and Morrissey fan, but to get Every Day Is Like Sunday on a 12-inch, I guess this would be a maxi single. So thrilled. That had Every Day Is Like Sunday, Sister, I'm a Poet, Disappointed, and Will Never Marry. Poor Morrissey. Likewise, I love the Beat. I have all of the copies of the English Beat, but finding anything that is just the Beat is hard to do, at least in the area that I'm at, without going online and ordering. So super excited to find this wonderful little compilation. It's a little, it's a little binged up in areas. It's not perfect, but again, I didn't spend much on it, and it plays and looks great otherwise. So win. Another band I came across and took a chance on that I wasn't overly familiar with from the 80s was the Plastics. I think they've been described as the quintessential Japanese new wave band, and I think that's pretty accurate. They did one other album after this one, and I cannot remember the name of it, so you have to forgive me, but I definitely would pick that up to kind of round out the collection. It's just been really great. I mean, what a great image. I kind of I liked everything about it. And I looked at it and I went away and I came back and I thought, you know what? It's calling to me. So I grabbed it. I really love the Beastie Boys album, the In Sound from Way Out. This is the original In Sound from Way Out album that was put out by Perry and Kingsley. It is nothing like the Beastie Boys, but from the 60s, it did inspire them, and obviously it inspired them not only with title, but sort of visually. There are elements to this record that you can definitely feel and sense kind of that vibe and inspiration that they pulled from it. So I was really excited just to pick it up as sort of a cross collectible with an artist that I enjoy, and another album that I absolutely love. That's probably one of my favorite Beastie Boys records. Another record I picked up, I just wanted a nice, newer, cleaner copy, and I couldn't be more happy with, was Devo's Shout. I think this one is in the original. No, I guess it just has the sticker on it. I thought it had the original sleeve on it for a second. It just looked so clean. I mean, I thrilled. Again, I could not be more thrilled with the condition of these records this time around. Another album I never see was Pet Shop Boys Introspective. So that was a thrill to find. So I grabbed that. Again, Prince fans here, and to find unexpectedly, I was not looking for a copy of anything from the family. That's Wendy's sister. I believe her name is Susan. This album has what might have been correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be getting my timelines messed up, but it has the version of Nothing Compares to You on it, which I think is the first recording or released recording anyway of that song. So super excited to get that one. This next album and kind of this next group of albums are a little bit of surprise pickups, things I didn't expect to find, but I'm super thrilled to have. The first one would be, I just can't, I don't even know what they were thinking. But this is the new wave version of the Village People called Renaissance. I mean, oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. Like they look so, and I think they look unhappy. They just don't look happy at all. So, to keep in time, I think 81, 82, to keep up with the times, I guess their management was like, you can't be the Village People from the 70s. Now you got to be the Village People from the 80s. And this is what they came up with. But really, if you could get past some of the poor fashion choices, if the songs were good, right? And it misses the mark. And the second side, I'm telling you, you guys, oh my gosh, it's like a song called Big Mac, a song called Diet, and a song called Food Fight. And it is, I'm sorry, Village People. I'm really sorry. It's not good. But I am so excited to have this record. Like, I can't even tell you how excited I am. I think I would want a second copy just to have a display copy. But yeah, I did put some of those songs on my Spotify list because they're just, if you do nothing other than listen to that record just briefly, if you're not familiar with it, oh my gosh. So the vendor that had the promo 45s also had a lot of 12-inch singles, and it looked like records that had been from a recorded, like a radio station. I can't even, those old-timey radio stations. And anyway, a lot of disco records. I think this is Meko, Meco. This album intrigued me, called Moon Dancer. It's got, all these, like, you can kind of see the Creature from the Black Lagoon and the Wolfman. I think there's The Bride and Frankenstein. So the idea being that you're catapulted to the moon where there's this super secret disco and you're having like an intergalactic disco party. And it is the kind of that stereotypical disco sound. I'm going to say Meko, and it might be wrong. So I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. But I think he also did records with music from like Star Wars Cantina, something from Star Trek. So, I mean, if you look him up, there's quite a history and a list of things that he's produced. So this is kind of right in his wheelhouse, I think. But Meko Menardo, I think is his Meko Menardo. So I was thrilled to get that one. It's not one I'd listen to all the time, but if you're in the mood for disco and very retro, that would be it. Another disco album, which I didn't even, when I looked at it at first, I wouldn't have thought was a disco album, is this one by Witch Queen. And Roadshow Records has put this one out. What is really great, and you can't see because the lighting is it's just really light. They do a version, so they kind of have their own like disco song about the Witch Queen, which goes into a cover of All Right Now, and they do a cover of Bang a Gong. It's crazy. It's just really, it's very unique. Again, not something I listen to every day, but I'm really kind of excited that I have it, and I only paid a couple bucks for it. So that was Witch Queen. The next one I'm very excited about. I don't even know why I'm in love with this record and this group as much as I am. They've only made 2 albums. This was maybe the first one. I think maybe the second one's called Munich Machine. This is sort of a manufactured band in that Giorgio Moroder put them together. They were a group of singers from Munich, hence the name. And the whole initial vibe on this, when I looked at it, it reminded me a lot of, I'll show you. It's the record from Sparks and Giorgio Moroder, which is Number One Song in Heaven. So it really kind of has that same vibe to me, that look. Even the picture on the back, it's sort of like she meets Number One Song in Heaven meets Ghostbusters, right? Like Zool and all that stuff. But anyway, they do a version of Whiter Shade of Pale. And there are parts where it's like that group singing, sort of like when you had four singers with ABBA, that kind of thing. But the background music, the beats to it are so more, so Giorgio, right? Like it is the essence of like Donna Summer. It is the essence of like what you heard with Sparks. There's just a lot going on. I was super thrilled with this. I don't think the person who sold it to me had any idea when I mentioned that for $3 I was getting a new to me disco album from Giorgio Moroder. And he kind of looked at me like, Giorgio, like he had no idea that Giorgio was doing it. But lo and behold, so check them out. Big fan of Bronski Beat. I think maybe I've mentioned that before. This is a remix album. So that was a wonderful find. I don't see a lot of Bronski Beats anything. Many of you told me that this Aha album, Stay on These Roads, is your favorite. I totally understand why it is so loved, but honestly, this is the first time I've ever seen one. I don't think it was produced, not a lot of them produced, even though it has the Living Daylights on it. That was the theme for James Bond. Super thrilled to see it. It's a promo copy, but not anything that I ever see often, which is part of the reason I didn't have it to begin with. So I could not be more thrilled to have a copy of that. The next one I picked up was the 12-inch single of Dress You Up. This one came with a surprise second 12-inch, and it had a sticker on it that said 2 12-inches, and I thought maybe it was 2 Dress You Ups or something special about this that I didn't know. But when I got home and pulled it out, the other 12-inch was the remixes for Vogue. So huge surprise, wonderful to have, which leads me into the one many of you may have seen already that I posted that I picked up, Confessions on a Dance Floor. This is the 2017 reissue. Never came out on an LP. I think the initial issue of this was 2007, maybe somewhere in there. It is neon pink. It is exactly like the first one, but obviously a different year. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody had just told me that maybe it was Tobias who told me there was a sticker on one of them, the initial one maybe. But anyway, or maybe it's a European difference that I'm not sure. But this is 2017. That might be it. Maybe in Europe, you guys got one in 2019, and there's a sticker here about pink neon vinyl, something like that. Anyway, it plays fantastic. It's everything you want it to be. It is hands down my all-time favorite Madonna, and I'm a big fan of her first several albums. I love early Madonna, but that Confessions on a Dance Floor is just perfect. I think that is just a masterpiece of a record, in my opinion, and if you're a Madonna fan. So that leads me into my final pickups. These all are related to another group and band that I love a lot of, which is Blondie and Debbie Harry. And so the first thing I find, surprise, surprise, Cuckoo. Who knew, right? It has a little Obi strip on it. It talks about, I think, limited to, it says 100,000. I don't know if that's the correct number. It does seem a lot. This is obviously a Japanese release. There's a stamp in the back that tells you what number that you have. These were supposed to come with a fold-out poster. This one did not, so I got a good deal on it. I'm just thrilled to add something a little different to my collection. So that was one really happy to have for sure. No surprise, right? And then the next thing I found in relation to that was the Jam was moving a 12-inch single that I had not seen. If I have, it's been forever. And I didn't realize this is sealed, so I haven't even opened it yet to listen to it. So I'm super excited about that one. I could probably put that back there too, couldn't I? We're just going to have a whole Debbie Harry section somewhere back in there. I don't know. Anyway, oh my gosh, there you go. Maybe I'll get rid of that. Okay, so the next one I picked up is Atomic. This has the live version of Heroes on it. I think somebody else had showcased this one a little bit earlier on another channel. Many of you, when talking about 12-inch singles or things that you've displayed on your back wall, especially if you're overseas, I've noticed this copy of a 12-inch of Rapture on your wall, and I was super, super envious. But now I have my own copy. I'm so excited. Again, something I did not expect to see. So I was super thrilled with that. I picked up the disco version of Heart of Glass. So that's kind of the same there and there. Obviously, I like Debbie Harry. I had a copy, that's my original copy that I purchased of Rockford. It has 4 covers. I was able to find 2 more of the color combinations. So the yellow with the original sticker on it, and the original plastic is still on it too. So I'm super excited to have that in my collection. This is a promo copy in the orange. And then when you pull them out, the sleeve on the inside, all the writing should be in the same color that's corresponding with kind of whatever you've got going on there color-wise on the front. This is a promo copy of French Kissing that I was able to find. So again, super, super excited to get that. And the very last one, last but not least, I think this is just one of my favorite pictures of Debbie Harry. I think she looks beautiful, everything I would want to be if I was a super cool rock star like her, but it is a French version of Sunday Girl for Blondie. I've actually been looking for this same 12-inch single, but an Australian copy, which is a limited edition color vinyl. So that's kind of on my want list. Maybe you guys have some amazing things on your want list that if you went to a record show, you would be looking for too. That is my haul. I am thrilled. Again, if it wasn't for the rain, I probably could have stayed and looked for a heck of a lot more, but I think I did enough damage for sure. Just couldn't be more thrilled with everything I got. Thank you to everybody, if any of you are watching, that I ran into. We became fast friends as we dug through records together and helped each other out, and that was great. But maybe in the comments below, you can let me know some of the great finds that you've had at record shows. Maybe you're on your way to one soon and you have a list of things that you're looking for. Do you make a list when you go? I did make a list. I deviated a little. I kind of stuck to it. It really helped me out because I get real squirrely. I get real squirrely and look at so many different things I can't even imagine. But that being said, I just really had a wonderful time. It was awesome to be able to share all these with you guys. I hope you'll come back and see me again. Check out the list on Spotify, the Jen's Addiction playlist. I'll have the link in my channel description as well as in this episode description for you to find. And I will be back again with some more fun shenanigans of some kind of the music world, maybe some monsters, maybe some comic books next time. But for now, I hope you are all spinning some wonderful tunes. You're finding some amazing deals wherever you are shopping. And above all, you're just enjoying the music. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye-bye.